Shalom, shalom. So when David got back from his trip to Israel, this is when things start to get really wild. And I know, it's been a pretty wild ride already, but buckle up. So when he gets back to Texas, he and his followers shift all of their focus to recruiting new members. David was able to recruit some from Israel, and they recruited a bunch of people from California and as far away as the UK and Australia. In 1986, Lois Roden passes away, and so the position of prophet within the Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Church was up for grabs. Surprisingly, the majority of the congregation looked at her son George, who had wanted to be prophet after her, and was like, you know what? We know David is exiled, but he might be a better option. At this point, David told his followers that he believed the prophecy meant that he was to set up the Davidic kingdom in Waco at Mount Carmel, and that they needed to find some way to get back on the property. David claims that George told him that in order to figure out who the next prophet would be of the Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Church, that they would have to try to resurrect a corpse, and whoever could bring the dead back to life was the true prophet. Now, there is no proof that George actually said this. However, it is a fact that he did remove at least one, possibly more bodies from the Branch Davidian cemetery that was on their property. When he was later asked why he did this, he said that, no big deal. They were just moving the location of the cemetery. David used this opportunity to report George to the police, but the police said that they couldn't do anything about him moving the corpses around without actual proof that he had moved a corpse. On a mission to get that proof, David and 7 of his followers armed themselves and snuck onto the Branch Davidian property in order to photograph the corpse. I told you guys, this gets wild. David and his followers were discovered by George and some of the other Branch Davidians, and a gunfight ensued. By the time the police got there, George had been shot, he survived, and David and his 7 followers were arrested and charged with attempted murder. All 7 of David's followers ended up being acquitted, and David's trial ended in a mistrial.